I hope Uzodimma don't enter scatter palava. uh, Imo people, e be like say Imo people no one make that man climb the seat for the second time because the kind keep news and information will be say the trend and release this time concerning Oga Hope Uzodimma. Now waiting wey be say if hear am e go think o. First of all, remember that one this guy was arrested. What is his name? Ochiaya Nikukunosonkwa, and the credit of the arrest was given to Hope Uzodimma, that Hope Uzodimma was the one that arrested him for misusing social media against him. It looks as if we are now in anarchy regime where people cannot be able to say their view. But let's go down to this information where we say it dey for my table now about Hope Uzodimma so that you'll be able to understand what is actually happening in Imo State. Then make we go down to that information. Dangers of Hope Uzodimma's second term in Imo State. All around the globe, political leadership is expected to be founded upon public trust. This principle applies even in cases where leadership positions are inherited. It serves as the primary rationale behind the high regard given to leaders in even the most influential kingdoms, as they are seen as individuals of exceptional pedigree and integrity. Consequently, these leaders strive to embody these virtues in the character they project, aiming to serve as respective examples. They make a conscious effort to maintain discipline and transparency while upholding principles of justice, fairness, and equity to the best of their abilities. They know that if they sleep, they will draw to the ear of the people of and embarrass themselves, and the consequences are usually grave. Therefore, any leader who does not feel accountable to the people in a ticking time bomb that will definitely explode, leave multiple casualties. From a critical standpoint, some perceived Hope Uzodimma as a governor who exhibits an inclination to assert absolute dominance over the residents of Imo State. Hypothetically speaking, if given the opportunity, he might even seek to possess the authority to dictate the fate of every individual within the state. It is evident that he has engaged in conflict with various political leaders in Imo State whom he views as rivals. Notably, he has been involved in confrontations and public humiliation of former Governor Rochas Okorocha and his son-in-law Uche Nwosu, going as far as making arrests in manner reminiscent of a Gestapo operation on trumped up charges. Uzodimma boxed them into silence and towards losing their grip in their same party, the All Progressive Congress (APC). Former Senator Ifeanyi Ararume, he made sure he did not sit as chairman of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, but even after appointment, Uzodimma was said to have told all manners of lie against Ararume to the presidency and alleged huge sum of taxpayers to block the opportunity that came his brother's way, ultimately making him lose the position. Likewise, Uzodimma has engaged in confrontation with former Governor Right Honorable Emeki Hedioha, whose electoral victory was overturned during a court ruling. The governor accused Ihedioha of sponsoring insecurity, although he has yet to provide substantial evidence to support this claim. Uzodimma prevailed on the police to arrest General Ironna, Ihedioha's deputy, on similar allegation and detain him for an extension period of over 2 weeks. Uzodimma has made various unsuccessful attempts to silence broadcast journalist Mr. Chinonso Oba, also known as Nonsonkwa, which did not see the light of the day. He invited police officers from Force Headquarters Abuja to pick up Nonsonkwa. They held him for 3 weeks without a fair hearing in an attempt to force him to sign an agreement that would silence him forever. Between December 2022 and February 2023, Uzodimma appointed about 240 special assistants. Surprisingly, months after their engagement, the governor abandoned them to their fate. Curiously, he has not deemed it necessary to pay any of them kobo as salary. Neither have they been allocated office space nor have their terms of reference been stipulated. Most of the appointees have been seen begging friends and relatives for money to cater for their families and offset the other bills. Furthermore, the governor's commissioners' displeasure with their inability to reach him is mounting. According to reports, he made himself difficult for nearly all to contact. In addition, because the governor's office oversees the majorities of the ministries, the majority of them do not receive pay to manage their offices and lack the guts to submit ideas because doing so will be a waste of time, making the commissioners only ceremonial government appointees. Not left out are the APC State Assembly members. For them, trying to meet with the governor is like trying to arrange a meeting with the United States President in the White House. These unsettling indicators raise questions about the governor's moral character. Uzodimma considers Imo as his earthly fiefdom, where every other person constitutes his vassals. His manipulative tendencies have seen the local government system crippled under his watch. Uzodimma does not want anyone to ask him what he has done with over 210 billion local government allocation received in the past 42 months. Without local government election in 4 years, Uzodimma will become the first Imo governor not to conduct the polls throughout the entire duration of a 4-year tenure. He has not accounted for the 13.5 billion World Bank assisted ramp project meant to cover 380.7 kilometers of rural roads in the state. Fairly speaking, re-electing Uzodimma is an endorsement of executive recklessness, abuse of power, and unaccountability. Uzodimma's administration stated in June 2021 that it will give 250,000 grants to thousands of Imo youth through the Niger Microfinance Bank, totaling 4 billion. This grant, which was later discovered to be a loan, served to contextualize and highlight Uzodimma's cluelessness. Many of the entranced people who dove in received the money. The initiative was hailed as a success of Uzodimma's government by him and his followers. But the recipients received surprise debit notices from their BVN-linked account a few days ago, ranging in value from 70,000 to 200,000. It was found out that the scheme which Uzodimma led the Imo people to believe was grant was actually a loan from the federal government. One wonders what happened to the 4 billion the government alleged provide as gift. By and large, Uzodimma has shown to be an irresponsible politician and leader. This is a governor who has mainly abdicated his duties and absconded to Abuja for a large part of his tenure. Nothing better proves that he does not feel responsible for the governance of Imo State. To make matters worse, when he is not in the state, governance is at standstill. He does not trust his deputy, chief of staff, secretary to the state, government, or any other functionary to hold sway his absence. Uzodimma runs the state like a private venture where he is the only one that calls the shot. Such a despotic character should be perpetuated in power. Imo people run a great risk to have him by any means return as governor in January 2024. Such will portend greater doom for the state. This is coming from Daniel Dumebi Ifani Chuku. You can see him on your screen. He is the one who wrote, should I call this thing, should I call it an epistle of what is actually happening in current Imo State as it's happening now. Meanwhile, many people have attested to this.